You're watching TAG TV.
Good evening, welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Vishakha Ratan. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 25th of May. Indian Prime Minister, Bangladeshi counterpart inaugurate cultural centre in eastern India. Continuous border firing hits education sector in India's Jammu and Kashmir. And election candidates can register within 2 days, says Afghan poll body. And now for all the details, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Bangladeshi counterpart Sheikh Hasina on Friday inaugurated Bangladesh Bhavan, a centre dedicated to cultural ties between the two countries in India's eastern Santiniketan town. Both the leaders also attended convocation ceremony of a university of which Prime Minister Modi is a chancellor. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with his Bangladeshi counterpart Sheikh Hasina, on Friday inaugurated the Bangladesh Bhavan in Santiniketan town of India's West Bengal province. The Bangladesh Bhavan is a building dedicated to cultural ties between the two countries. The centre features a museum that showcases Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore's association with the country, the liberation war of Bangladesh and Indo-Bangladesh relations.
गुरुदेव रवींद्रनाथ टैगोर की दूरदृष्टि का परिणाम यह संस्था हमारी राजनीतिक सीमाओं और बंधनों से परे है। गुरुदेव स्वयं एक स्वतंत्र विचार के व्यक्ति थे, जिन्हें की सीमाओं के बंधनों में नहीं बांधा। ये जितने भारत के थे उतने ही बांग्लादेश के भी थे।
Early in the day, both the leaders also attended the convocation ceremony of Visva Bharati University in Santiniketan town. Bengali poet Rabindranath Tagore formally started the college in 1921 with the money he received as the award for the Nobel Literature Prize in 1913. While addressing a gathering at the university, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi welcomed Hasina and stressed on how both India and Bangladesh have so much to learn from each other in culture or public policy. Bilateral trade between India and Bangladesh has grown steadily over the last decade, with India's exports to Bangladesh standing at nearly 4,500 million US dollars and imports standing at nearly 672 million from 2016 to 17. Schools in Katwa district of India's Jammu and Kashmir province have been indefinitely closed due to constant ceasefire violations by neighbouring Pakistan along the border. Villagers near the frontier said they were distressed by the incessant firing, which has brought their lives to a standstill.
Authorities in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Thursday ordered closure of schools along the border in Katwa district and continuous ceasefire violations by Pakistani army. Pakistani troops have been firing intermittently upon Indian positions along the border since the last 3 to 4 days. Several villagers along the border have fled their homes and taken shelter in government camps. Deputy Commissioner of Katwa district said the educational institutes in the border district were closed down as a preventive measure in wake of the ceasefire violations.
और ये है कि बच्चों की पढ़ाई ऐसे ही खराब हो रही है, हाँ, तो बड़ा मुश्किल फायरिंग हो रही है। हमारे गांव में एक की मौत हो गई है, बम से जब बम पड़ा उसकी लेडीज़ उनको भी लग गई है और काफ़ी वो हमारे पशु बहुत जख्मी हुए हैं थोड़े, तो बड़ी मुश्किल है और कैंप में बैठे हैं हम बच्चे लेकर।
स्कूल को 3 दिन से बंद है और तब तक बंद रहेंगे जब तक कि फायरिंग चलती रहेगी। लेकिन ये स्कूल सारे बंद नहीं हैं, जो 0 से 5 किलोमीटर दायरे के अंदर जो स्कूल पढ़ते हैं उन्हीं को बंद रखा गया है।
The troops of arch rivals India and Pakistan intermittently exchanged fire on the line of control, despite an agreement in 2003 that a ceasefire should be observed along the working boundary. Both New Delhi and Islamabad blame each other for resorting to unprovoked firings.
Moving on, journalists in the illegally occupied territory of Pakistan-administered Kashmir are going through an existential crisis as they are getting meager and sometimes even zero remuneration for their relentless execution of duties. Media houses in which they work are grappled with endemic corruption and various other immoral practices. The messengers of people's plight to the government are themselves bearing the brunt of the rapidly deteriorating economics of one of most unorganized sectors of Pakistan-administered Kashmir, that is, journalism. Young scribes are finding it extremely hard to sustain in an industry which is marred by corruption and immoral practices. Paid journalism is a harsh reality in Pakistan-administered Kashmir, and owners in the region can go to any extent in order to satiate their materialistic greed.
दूसरों के मसाइल हुक्मरानों तक पहुंचाने वाले खुद इतने मसाइल का शिकार हैं कि वो बयान नहीं कर सकते। उन्हें ये पता नहीं चल रहा कि वो अपना रोना किसके आगे जाके रोएं, अपने मसाइल किन को बताएं और वो कौन सी अथॉरिटी है जो सहाफियों के मसाइल हल करेगी।
Journalists are dictated the editorial and models of the story. They blame they are coerced into creating propaganda and narratives that do not even have remote association with the facts, failing which either they are thrown out of the job or implicated on false charges and even in some cases killed. In news from Afghanistan, Afghanistan's Independent Election Commission on Thursday said candidates for the parliamentary and district council polls can file their nomination papers within 2 days. The process of registration of candidates for the upcoming elections in October will start on May 26 and will run through until June 12.
The Independent Election Commission of Afghanistan or IEC on Thursday said candidates for the upcoming parliamentary and district council polls can file their nomination papers from Saturday. Head of the poll body's administration and finance said those wanting to run for the polls can visit the IEC offices across the country and take with them copies of IDs of their at least 1,000 supporters. He said out of the 1,000 IDs of the supporters, at least 650 copies must be valid.
از حامیان خود واردی فرم میسازن که در اونجا نام اون نفر هست، شماره استیکرش هست که قبلا ثبت شده در اونجا و همچنین شماره تذکرهش هست، در آخر نشان 60 یمو حامی هست. بنابراین 1,000 نفر با خود داشته باشند و خیلی از همه مهمتر این هست.
The process of registration of candidates both for parliamentary and district council elections will start on May 26 and will run through until June 12. The final list of voting centres will be announced on June 23.
Moving on to news from Nepal, Sanghya Samajwadi Forum Nepal chairman Upendra Yadav has said Nepal's federalism is in crisis. The leader also accused the federal government of trying to weaken the federalism and said that the political struggle in Nepal has not come to an end yet.
Chairman of Sanghya Samajwadi Forum Nepal or SSFN, Upendra Yadav has said Nepal's federalism is in crisis and accused the federal government of trying to weaken it. Speaking during an event on Thursday, the leader accused the central government of not being serious towards developing Province 2 of Nepal. Saying that the political struggle has not come to an end, he said though the government entered into federalism through a long struggle, federalism is yet to be institutionalized. Nepal's federal and parliamentary polls last year were seen a game changer in the country's political system so far. Since the landslide victory of the Left Alliance and the first Premier of Federal Nepal, KP Sharma Oli sworn in, his government has been promising justified management, rule of law and good governance. Oli has repeatedly said that Nepal's political transition has ended and his government now works for overall social transformation.
Moving on, cylindrical clay-shaped oven called tandoor in India is famous for cooking and baking chicken, bread and much more, but never before tea has been made in it. Two science graduates in India's Pune city are making it possible with their tea shop, making a unique product called tandoori tea out of it. Tea made with a special recipe and poured into a hot clay cup has become the talk of India's western Pune city nowadays. A tea shop named Chaila, based in Kharadi locality of Pune, sells the unique tea and is run by 2 science graduates. The shop, owned by Pramod Bankar and Amol Rajdeo, makes the tea by a unique process where kullars or clay cups are roasted in a preheated tandoor, which is a cylindrical clay-shaped oven. Then the semi-cooked tea is poured into the extremely hot kullars to bubble over as it finishes cooking.
हम गांव में थे, हमारे दादी ने एक हल्दी का दूध बना के दिया हमें ये मिट्टी के कुल्हड़ में. उसकी वजह से एक कंसेप्ट हमारे इसमें आ गया और ये हम चाहते थे कि और इसमें और कुछ बनाए, इसलिए हमने एक चाय का प्रोडक्ट लिया. चाय तो सब पीते, चाय बहुत फेमस है, वर्ल्ड वाइड चाय बहुत फेमस है.
Bankar and Rajdeo say the tandoori tea gives a special feeling to the customers since it is poured into a mud cup which gives them an essence of the village's soil. They claim that their concept of making tandoori tea is the first of its kind in the world. Scores of devotees gathered at the banks of river Ganges in India's northern Uttar Pradesh province on Thursday to mark the occasion of Ganga Dussehra. Devotees offered prayers and lit earthen lamps to celebrate the occasion that marks the descent of the holy river Ganges on the earth.
Devotees strewn river Ganges in northern India's temple town of Varanasi on Thursday to celebrate the occasion marking the descent of the river on the earth by lighting earthen lamps. The festival was celebrated with much fervor in the temple town as devotees scattered to seek blessings on the occasion of Ganga Dussehra. Priests performed rituals on the banks of the river to mark the descent of the holy river on the earth.
हर वर्ष की भांति इस वर्ष भी गंगा सेवा निधि द्वारा भव्य गंगा दशहरा गंगा अवतरण दिवस का मनाया जा रहा है. आज यहाँ पे गंगा सेवा निधि द्वारा भगवती माँ गंगा की महाआरती, जो कि जिसमें 11 ब्राह्मणों द्वारा माँ गंगा की आरती, 22 कन्याएं हैं रिद्धि सिद्धि के रूप में और सांस्कृतिक कार्यक्रम का आयोजित किया गया है.
बहुत अद्भुत नज़ारा, दिव्य नज़ारा है. महादेव जी की नगरी में ऐसा अद्भुत दृश्य यही देखने को मिलता है.
The festival is held for 10 days to rejoice the presence of river Ganges on earth. The earthen lamps light the light skies with a luminous city, and the city organized the celebrations at a large scale. The festival is a great attraction for people from around the world.
The holy month of Ramadan has spurred the sale of dates in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. Muslims observe the holy month by going on rigorous day-long fast and ending their day with lavish meals. The holy month of Ramadan has spurred the sale of dates in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province as variety of dates exported from Iran, Iraq and Saudi Arabia tempt buyers with their rich taste and high nutritional content. Ramadan is the 9th month of Islamic calendar. Muslims observe the occasion by going on rigorous day-long fast and ending their day with lavish meals. Ramadan spurs the sale of dates which are mandatorily consumed by devout Muslims while breaking their dawn to dusk fast.
रमज़ान में तो डिमांड काफ़ी रहती है. अब तो माशाल्लाह पूरे 12 महीने डिमांड रहती है. पूरा 12 महीने हम बेचते. पर इस साल जो ये महीना होता है, रमज़ान के महीने होते हैं, 30 दिन होते हैं, इसमें काफ़ी ज़्यादा डिमांड रहती है. बहुत सारे अलग अलग जगहों से आते हैं. ईरान से आते हैं, इराक़ से डेट्स आते हैं, सऊदी से आते हैं, पाकिस्तान से आते हैं. काफ़ी वैराइटीज़ रहती है, बहुत सारी वैराइटीज़ रहती है इस वक्त.
खजूर तो बहुत यूज़ होता है, खासकर इस रमज़ान के महीने में तो काफ़ी ज़्यादा लोग इसको इस्तेमाल करते हैं. तो ये मुफीद भी रहता है कि सेहत के लिए, हमें एनर्जी भी प्रोवाइड करता है ये, और सब खाते हैं अच्छी तरह.
Ramadan automatically increases the sales of dates and the markets are flooded with different varieties of dates that are imported from the Middle East. Dates typically serve as appetizers before the lavish meal served after sunset. Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.
You're watching TAG TV.